This level 2 EX battle deck for Quaquaval may need some upgrades. Hey everyone, it's me Joji, and today we're taking at the second of the two Deluxe battle decks to come out for Pokemon TCG. Now the first one we took a look at was the level 2 MEOWSCARADA EX deck, and if you haven't caught that one, go ahead and check it out, or in the little eye. But today we're going to be taking a look at the Quaquaval EX Deluxe battle deck. Of course, as I said, it's a level 2, so that means it's going to have a lot more competitiveness to it than an EX battle deck right off the bat. So let's go ahead and take a look at what comes inside this, and then we'll see how to upgrade it, and of course we're going to catch some gameplay to see how good this does after upgrading. Alright, let's get this corner opened up so we can take a look at the contents. And I will say that I did choose Quaquaval as my starter because, as you can kind of see behind me, I love the water starters. But, you know, Quaquaval was an interesting final evolution being water fighting. I would have loved to have seen maybe a Terra form of this guy as a card where he's fighting instead. We are getting one for Skeledirge, but not for Quaquaval, I believe. Here is the coin. Ooh, that is also a really cool effect. Almost like a bubble hollow, I'd say, which is pretty cool. Let me see if I can show you the MEOWSCARADA one. This is the MEOWSCARADA one, which is more of a mesmerizing effect. And this one almost seems like a bubble effect to it. Really cool. Alright, put that at the side. Here is the playmat. Probably just going to be the bubble effect, yes. As we saw on the back of the other one. Here is the bubble effect. And, oh, Deluxe battle deck written on the very back and all that. Here are some damage counters. I wish this one maybe came with dice, but I guess that is, you know, something that level 3s specifically get. Here is instructions on how to play this deck. Alright, but of course, let's take a look at the main cards you get from this deck. Of course, oh, can't forget Burn and Poison, which aren't too important in this deck, but you know, it's worth having because your Pokemon may get burnt or poisoned. But of course, the other cards are going to be in here. Let's take a look at these three that they have at the front. Plastic off. Wipe these cards. Set this away. And of course, put this down. We have the Quaquaval EX. This is the same one from the Paldean Evolved set, but if you haven't seen it or don't remember, Exciting Dance does 60, then you can switch this out for a Pokemon, and then your opponent does the same. But of course they get to choose what Pokemon gets switched in. And then Spiral Shot does 230 for 2 energy, but you have to put 2 energy back into your hand. So it's a little iffy, I'd say, of an attack, but there are some good techs you can do with this. But speaking of good techs, Radiant Ninja. I mean, most decks, if you haven't seen the competitive scene, run this. And of course, because of concealed cards, that's the main takeaway from this card. Being able to discard an energy and draw 2 cards is very powerful. Not even considering the Moonlight Shuriken, this card is an amazing card. And of course, like I said, Moonlight Shuriken put 90 damage onto 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. That's not bad, but of course you have to discard 2 energies. But still, 90 damage, that's a good bench snipe if they don't have Manaphy on the field. And since it's a level 2 deck, you do get 2 Quaquaval instead of 1 compared to the EX battle decks, which honestly is an amazing thing that they're doing. I mean, level 3 still has a lot more comparatively. I would have loved to have 3 of these maybe going forward, which will probably happen in the upgrade, but nonetheless, having 2 right off the bat is really great. Let's show off that code so you can get this deck online and try it out for yourself, and then maybe do the upgrades that I do to get some wins on Pokemon TCG Live. But anyways, let's go ahead and get to the contents of this box. Okay, so the actual cards you get in this deck. We of course saw the 2 Quaquaval EX, but we also get, for the rest of the line, 3 Quaxwell and 4 Quaxly. Now overall, that's not a bad number. Again, like I mentioned in the other video with MEOWSCARADA, maybe only 2 Quaxwell would be enough, but you know, again, as I said in the other video, with the TM devolution coming out, it may be worth it to have at least 2. Maybe a third would be nice, but getting from stage 1 to 2 takes a lot more turns comparatively. So I don't know, maybe having this plus the TM evolution to get maybe your Quaxly into Quaquaval, then using the TM to get them into Quavels? Did I say Quaxel? I meant Quaxel to Quaquaval. That may be some sort of tack to do, but let's move on to the other Pokemon. Again, same kind of idea. We have 3 Frigibax, 2 Archibax, and 2 Maxcalibur, which is going to be how you attach your energy. Super cold. Attach a water energy from your hand to any one of your Pokemon as many times as you like. So you can have, like, I don't know, 5 energy in hand, and you can attach all 5 of that on one turn. Alright, so same kind of thing. I maybe suggest running a single Archibax just because that devolution coming in, I think for us in November for the English market, is going to be very painful and competitive for evolution Pokemon. But in the meantime, I think you can get rid of most of the stage 1s and go ahead and use rare candies. But moving on, we do have Radiant Greninja that we saw earlier. We have 2 Indindi, which its attack actually evolves your Pokemon Expert Nurturer, so you could use this as an avenue to, you know, get from stage 1 to 2 faster. And then we have a Bruxish, which, now that I think about it, I think the Indindis, the Bruxish, and this Baxcalibur line, maybe minus a Frigibax and Artibac, maybe Baxcalibur too, were the same line that we saw for the Chimpao EX battle deck. I'll have to, you know, remember if that's the same or not. Put it up on the screen if it is, and that's a little weird coincidence that this water deck runs pretty similar. Maybe even adding a Chimpao might be a good idea for this deck, just to hit those high numbers for those like 300 plus Pokemon. But we'll see at the upgrade. But yeah, Bruxish, Vivid Charge to just get water energy into your hand is not great and competitive because they can just Iono it away or judge it away. So probably something that's going to get axed during the upgrade. Let's move on to the supporters though. We have 3 Irida, which is going to be very important because we're going to want to draw that water Pokemon, which we have tons of, and that item card, which there's a few specific ones we're probably going to be looking at. Moving on, we have 3 Professors Research. We have 2 Jock, 2 Youngster, and a single Flora. Now, pretty similar to the MEOWSCARADA, barring a few differences here and there. I kind of wish that they had a boss's orders in here, but that's fine. We can do that on the upgrade. Let's go on to the item cards, which we have 4 Nest Ball, because we are more basic Pokemon heavy. We have 3 Ultra Ball. We have 2 Energy Retrieval, 2 Energy Search, 2 Escape Rope, 2 Rare Candy, and then for our stadium we have Lake Acuity. So this actually helps us when we have water energy attached to our Pokemon. We actually take 20 less damage. Now, if you're running up against a Miraidon, that obviously doesn't matter, but if they're not hitting 340 easily, then you're going to be fairly safe when it comes to taking damage from Pokemon. Now, speaking of having that water attached, we have 12 water energy. Now, we'll probably change that a bit. There's a few energies that came out in Paldea Evolved that come to mind for this deck, but as it stands, this deck is not bad, especially since it does include the rare candies that they wish that the MEOWSCARADA deck actually had. But overall, it's not a bad buy if you're trying to just jump into competitive. It has some really good cards using the Aridas, the Excalibur, the Quaquaval, the Radiant Greninja alone. You know, this is really good, like, as a starting point for anyone going into competitive right off maybe the EX battle decks. But we'll see if we can get this upgraded to be a little bit more stronger for competitive. So for our upgrade, what we're going to be doing first, obviously, we're going to be lowering and increasing the amount of Quaxly, and we're not going to have any Quaxly, but we are increasing the Quaquaval count up to 3. And unfortunately, I only had the gold one. I apparently only ever pulled one of these and then traded it away. That's all I remember. Anyways, so 3-3. Obviously, we're going to see some rare candies in this deck become a very important aspect of it, but having a 3-3 line is probably the best idea to have. That way you don't have to commit too many cards, especially because we have such a high Pokemon count going into this upgrade. So let's see the other Pokemon I'm talking about. We're going to have a 2-2 line of Bidoof, Bibarel in this deck to increase our draw support. Now, unfortunately, we aren't going to be seeing that Excalibur anymore. Instead, we're going to be using pretty much manual attachment for our energies. But let's go ahead and show off some cards we're actually going to be using. We're adding a Lumineon into the deck, a Radiant Greninja, obviously the one that came with it, a Mimikyu, because if we go into this guy instead, obviously Safeguard's going to help us not get knocked out by those EX MV Pokemon. Also, got this guy during spooky season, so kind of had to use it. And then for our last couple Pokemon, we got to have a Manaphy because we're going to get knocked out by an opposing Radiant Greninja if we don't. And then, of course, the more interesting part of this deck, because we're doing a lot of switching, I thought, let's take advantage of that switching and putting something very disadvantageous to our opponent. So we're adding 3 Klefki. Now, Klefki, if you don't know, has Mischievous Lock, which essentially makes it super hard for your opponent to use any of basic Pokemon's abilities. So this is very painful for things like Chimpao, Lost Box, and even Miraidon if you set up before they do. If you draw into this, you probably want to put this as your active. But we're running 3 of these. But of course, keep in mind if you're running the Klefkis as your first Pokemon, you can't use your Radiant Greninja or your Lumineon because, well, they're basic Pokemon with ability. Also, keep in mind that your Manaphy and your Mimikyu also have their abilities turned off when it's in the active. So, if you're going to get hit by a Radiant Greninja, you're going to get hit by a Radiant Greninja. Now, as for our supporter cards, we're going to be running 4 Irida, obviously, because it is a water deck. Irida is a great trainer for water Pokemon decks. We have 3 Professor's Research. Then we have 2 Boss's Orders, because we're going to be doing a lot of switching around. We want to make sure that we're choosing the right Pokemon to knock out. 2 Iono, to make even more disruptive of a match that we already have. And 1 Clara to round out our supporters. And then as for our item cards, and we'll see stadiums as well, we have 4 rare candy to evolve, obviously, our Quaxly's into Quaquaval, followed by some more disruption, some Crushing Hammer, 4 to be exact, because if we're switching stuff around to make it super disruptive and control our opponent's playstyle, let's make it even more controlling by adding some Crushing Hammer so they can't put any of their energy up to knock us out. We have 3 Battle VIP passes. We have 2 Nest Ball. followed by 2 Ultra Ball. Then we have some switching cards. We have 2 Escape Ropes, 1 Switch, 1 Energy Search, and then for our stadium we are running 2 Path to the Peak. Again, very disruptive, especially in this current format where there is a lot of ability Pokemon. And then finally, for our energy, we are running 3 Jet Energy to move up our Quaquaval faster, and then 7 total basic Water Energy. So that is the upgrade we're going to be doing. Right off the bat, I will say that I've had a lot of fun playing this deck and being super disruptive with Quaquaval's ability here, Exciting Dance. It is such a great ability to have on a Pokemon, and it made sense to turn this deck into a disruptive deck by having the Path of the Peak, the Crushing Hammers, and even the, Klefkis and Mimikyu. They're really good ways to make it super disruptive and control how your opponent plays. I'm almost tempted to call this Quaquaval's deck a control deck just because of how controlling it is for your opponent's playstyle. But, off the bat, things that I would change, maybe I would switch out the Radiant Greninja instead for something else. I'm not too sure what I would put in here instead of it. Maybe even a fourth Quaxley or a 4th Klefki as an option. Same thing goes for Lumineon. Maybe even having instead a 3/3 line of Bidoof Bibarel might be a better choice. Heck, we could even have maybe some more Battle VIP Pass, Nest Ball, or Ultra Ball, or even a second Switch if we wanted to get rid of these 2 ability Pokemon. But of course, I do want to keep the Manaphy and the Mimikyu in here because they are very disruptive when it comes to the current meta. But yeah, that is the deck we're going to be running today. I'm going to have probably so much fun trying this out, so stay tuned. We're going to show some gameplay of it. All right, looks like we lost the coin flip, so let's see. They'll be going first, okay. A little disadvantageous for us, but very bad for us. Because that means that we won't be able to set up our Quaquaval sooner than later. I wonder what we're playing against. Just based off the Psychic Energy, maybe a Gardevoir deck? Could be. Path will be very handy in this case if it is. Let's see now. What are we playing against? Oh. Well, this is a good start for us then. Klefki. Oh, ooh. Not a good start for them at all. I'm not gonna give them the Iono. Let's grab our Quaxley and Battle VIP Pass, I suppose. Let's start setting up here. We're gonna go ahead and grab another Klefki so they can't just rope us. And be free. We'll attach there. And we'll pass. Hopefully go into a jet. Draw into a jet, I should say. Nest Ball. Okay. There's a Comfey. They're probably going to have to burn a boss if they want to use the Comfey, though. Because now they only have Colress's Experiment. Just the 2 for this turn. Oh, they're removing their Dragonite. Okay, so they might have a Raikou, though. That could be a concern. Maybe putting up the Mimikyu at some point will be a good idea. Yeah, that's all they can do. I don't know if they want to start burning any switch cards right now. Probably not the best choice of card usage, you know? because now it's in the active. And, you know, I have considered this, but maybe having just a one Hawlucha when your Klefki's not in the active, obviously, and then pinging Pokemon that way would be a good idea. All right, let's put that up. Yeah, let's commit this here. Quaquaval. Rare Candy. Let's put that up. We'll do the manual retreat. I'm going to be very disappointed if we draw into a jet. Good, we didn't. I want to commit this to... Yeah, I think I want to commit these two into a Quaxley. Just so I can start powering that up. Greninja would have been another good choice, but I'm still not too comfortable with just manually attaching for a Moonlight Shuriken. Alright, let's put this back up. And the only way they really have to get items or cards into the Lost Zone, I should say, is their Colress's Experiment and Lost Vacuums right now, which is good for us. See, now they have 4, but even if they try and put down a Cramorant, it's useless again because of, you know, Mischievous Lock. There goes a Manaphy and a Switch Cart. Interested to see what the other 3 were. Nest Ball, okay. Interesting. Don't know if they realized that Lost Preservations doesn't work against Klefki. There's a Greninja. But again, Concealed Cards doesn't work. They might be trying to commit... Ah, they're gonna find out that they can't attack. They could be trying to go for a Moonlight Shuriken after they got 7 in here. That is an option. Another Barrel. Let's see what we draw into for our 2. Hopefully Quaquaval. Not Quaquaval. Let's Iono. Hopefully don't give him a Colress. There is a Path, which we won't actually play because that would actually benefit them. So we're just going to get rid of this and this. Well, I could maybe use the Lumion later. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to use the Greninja. Let's just grab our Quaquaval now, right? Actually, let me grab something I won't be using later. This. Okay. That way, I guess I could just research these away. Hopefully no Colress's Experiment to bump that number up. They've played 2. There are good chances that at least one of them is prized. So they might never get to Lost Mine. But again, they could Moonlight Shuriken. Pokestop, they could also Lost Vacuum themselves. That is a good option. Hopefully they discard a Colress. They discarded the Raikou and their other Sableye. Okay, I like that. But there's the Vacuum, as I expected. So now they're going to have 7. Right? No, 6. 6 in the Lost Zone. So if they use a Colress's Experiment at some point, they will be able to hit us. I don't think I will Iono because that may give them the chance to get that Colress's Experiment sooner. Escape Rope, okay. Really using up your cards, aren't you? Oh, that's going to be your free knockout for us now. I don't even have to put up the Quaquaval. I could just attack with the Klefki if I wanted to, really. Ooh, tempting to Arida into the other Quaquaval. But I'm going to hope that I draw into these. Oh, no, I didn't draw into them. But Or do I just switch? Attach. Switch. Yeah, I'm gonna do that instead. They could Raihan. That is an option for them. It could also concede, which is a good option for them. A better option for me. Not a good option for them, but you know. If they start slow attaching to the Greninja, that'd be perfect for our crushing hammers. We have one here, one there. Okay. Will they grab Comfey? Okay. So, good thing we didn't Iono them. Dead hand. Rare candy. Ooh. How many do we have left? We might have one left. I also don't want to get through my deck so quickly. That's fine. We just drew into it. We're gonna jet here. And we're gonna start pinging some more 60s. And we're just pretty much having them locked at this point. And this is pretty much the ideal spot you want to be against Lost Box. They can't draw anything. They're kind of stuck. They got rid of their own Pokestop. So they don't have anything really to help them draw right now. I mean, again, they could just grab that last Colress and then they finally can start using the Mirage Gates. That's if they even have them in hand. Or if they get them from the Colress, obviously. So let's see. Is it going to be another pass from them? I will say that in my testing that I've done for like the past week, because I've enjoyed this deck so much, I was able to just pretty much get a lot of these decks to concede from just not being able to do anything. Ooh, I'm tempted to start committing damage on this Greninja. Let's just leave it at this for now, though. Keep that boss play for later. Yeah, we're just looping them now. That's all they have to go with right now until they draw their Colress's Experiment. The second they get that, they're going to start powering through and start attaching and maybe even using their other Super Rods. Oh, they're checking their prizes. Yeah, they haven't used a single Super Rod. So they're probably holding on to them. Or in the deck. I think the second we see the Super Rod, we might see a Nest Ball as well. Oh, actually, they have already used 3 of their Nest Balls. Ooh. Not good. Not good indeed. Okay, we got 2 escape ropes. Let's go ahead, switch in another Quaquaval. I was gonna say Quaxley, but then I don't know, drawed it out. Really weird choice for my speaking there. Alright, we take another knockout. Now I'm really wondering if we should have kept that Greninja. Oh well, that's fine. Another energy. Sableye, okay. They have 6, so... Yeah, downside right now is that we're only doing 60, unfortunately. So, we're gonna have to obviously switch around quite a bit to get these knockouts now. Yeah, the biggest amount of knockouts I can do right now is probably off this Raiding Greninja or the Sableye. How much energy have we used here? 3? What Pokemon do we have? Okay. Let's start using our escape ropes. Cramorant, okay. And I'm gonna commit this here. But I'm still gonna Exciting Dance. Not gonna take these knockouts. They are pretty much locked here. And I'm sure they're very angry at me because of it. I think we still have our IO now because I'm realizing that we have a very low deck count. No, we don't. Ooh. There's the Colress's experiment. So they're going to have 8 now, so they can start committing the Mirage Gates. There goes another energy into the Lost Zone, though. Let's see those Mirage Gates. Probably powering up the Greninja, of course. So 2 Mirage Gates would be able to power up this completely, and then 1 to the Sableye to retreat. I'm pretty sure they have the Lightning and Waters for this play still available. There's a heart attached there. Ooh. Do they not have them? A single scratch. I haven't seen a scratch in a long time. Okay. We're gonna get rid of that. If we can. And we can. Let's get rid of that. So they have to commit a Super Rod for it. Let's see what they give us. And right here is where I decide whether I want to Exciting Dance or knock out this Greninja now that they do have Moonlight Shuriken as an option. And I think I will knock out this. Because again, it is an option for them now. Put these away. I'm sure they're going to want to start playing the Comfey more. They're going to bring it up to 9. Now the question is, are they going to be able to bring it up to 10? How many more boss disorders do I have? We have 1 more. Don't know if it's prized. How many Comfey do they have left? Just this one. What did they get rid of? Super Rod. Okay. Yeah, so maybe that was the best choice. Not sure, really. We'll have to see. They can't hit us with Cramorant right now. There's the Super Rod, probably the Greninja going back. But they don't have any more Nest Balls, hopefully, available to them. They've played 3. Hopefully one of them is prized. There's the Raikou. Oh, I forgot about that Raikou play. There's a Roxanne, okay. Which is fine. It helps us a bit. Ooh, that's perfectly fine. We can still Spiral Shot, knock it out. Concealed cards. Okay. This is where they start ramping up. But let's see if we've gone far enough in the prize race for it not to matter. Mirage Gate. Okay, here come the 2 onto here. Do they have a second Mirage Gate? They have that second Mirage Gate? Oh, okay, here comes the play. They're going to be knocking out Mimikyu and Klefki. Probably. Or just both Klefkis. That's also an option. Okay, just the single attach. Escape rope. Okay. I'm going to put up Quaquaval to prepare for the knockout. They take 2, I take 1. Even if they put up the Raikou, I have both my Quaquavals pretty much ready for attacking. I think my biggest concern right now is if they're able to maybe Iono or Roxanne us once more. I think I commit this Jet here. I commit the Jet. Whoever's attacking Yeah, commit the jet, so whoever's attacking, I can always switch them back out, right? 2, 1, ooh, maybe not. That's fine. I'm gonna barrel. Yeah. There's Bidoof. Not gonna play that because they could knock out both of these, right? Or one of them actually. But I'm not gonna do that. Let's go ahead and see if we can knock out or take out this energy. That's a no. What else do we have? Okay, we do have Path still. We do have Clara too. Yeah, I'm not gonna put up the Bidoof. That's an easy knockout for that Sableye. I'm not gonna use the energy search either. All right, let's go for the knockout. I'm sure they're gonna bring up the Raikou. But because if they just put it up and knock that out, I think we're good. Honestly, that's, I think, what we want them to do. We want them to knock out this Quaquaval with the Raikou, so we can retaliate with our own Quaquaval here. If not, we could just knock out the Sableye or this Comfey. We do have Boss. Commit a Boss, knockout, switch, and Mimikyu. They can't hit us with the Raikou. They're probably going to switch in Sableye and knock this Mimikyu out and put some damage onto here or the Quaquaval. Let's see here. How much more energy do they have? Do they have Super Rods? How many? They should be running maybe like 3 at least. There's the Raikou. I think we win. They haven't Iono'd or anything though. Do we win? If they don't Iono or Roxanus, I think we win. Yeah, I think we do. Let's see what they grab. Come on. What are you trying to grab? Are you going to play what you grabbed is another question. Walrus's Experiment. Okay. Going down to 4 cards in deck. Trying to look for maybe that the last 2 Mirage Gates. Oh, actually, that could have been a play. I don't know how many more rods they have to commit to Sableye plays though. Oh, they have another Sableye. They should have maybe lost Horn. Or sorry, Echoing Horn. Echoing Horn set up Knockout Mimikyu, set up the other Pokemon for knockout. That might have been the better play. I mean, if we didn't have Boss, obviously, that would have been the better play. But they don't know that. But yeah, I think we have this one in the bag. I mean, honestly, Keylock is pretty insane when you set it up pretty well. And this switching effect just disrupts their ability to set up anything really for the rest of the game. You want to attack? Nah, you're not going to attack with that one. We're switching that out for something else. But it is game here with the Boss, Raikou, and we're just going to go ahead and jet this guy up. Yeah, I think maybe the Iono would have stopped us here, but Quaquaval and Keys take out a Lost Box. Honestly, I'm surprised. I thought as they were ramping up there at the end, they could have had game, but we just got the right hand at the right time. And so that was the deck. I honestly love this deck. It is so much fun to run. I mean, just Quaquaval alone, its Exciting Dance is a really good ability. Again, doing 60, making them switch out their Pokemon into something else, and then maybe even switching in a Klefki to stop them from using their abilities on their basic Pokemon, as we saw in that gameplay, was super disruptive to them. They couldn't get any single flower selectings out pretty much that beginning of the game. They had to use all their Colress's experiments to even get ready to attack with. And of course, Mimikyu, it was there as, placeholder just in case we ever needed it, for if they had played the Dragonite or maybe that Raikou V, we could switch into this so they can't knock it out maybe for a turn or so. But yeah, Jet Energy, very helpful. Another switching card essentially, right? But I feel like I maybe should have another switch or a second escape rope just in case. And there have been matches outside of what you just saw where I've found it more important to have a third Path of the Peak. And that's why I said earlier in the video why we might want to get rid of the Lumineon and the Radiant Greninja. They're great cards, but they become very limited if we're starting the Klefki, which obviously turns off its abilities for these two. So maybe switching these out for some other more better cards in this type of deck would be better. Maybe, again, like I said, having another line, another like 1/1 added onto this line, or even bumping up other cards' numbers. But that is the deck. Let me know what you think about it. Give it a try. Honestly, I climbed quite a bit on the ladder because of it, and it was a lot of fun doing so. Very disruptive, very controlling. If you like control decks and you like disruption decks, this is a good deck to try out. But I will say that with the new format coming out, I think it might already be out if you're watching this after the week it comes out. Obviously, we are in Paradox Rift. This guy is weak to lightning, and obviously one of the more powerful cards coming out of that set is Iron Hands EX. It doesn't knock it out, but it gets close to it, and these are obviously easy targets, so are the Klefkis. So pay mind to how you play against those decks. Maybe I might have some suggestions later on how to upgrade this to combat that. So if you have the questions for that, put them down in the comments. Like, how would you deal with Iron Hands EX, or how would you deal with Roaring Moon EX, which obviously just KOs you immediately, so there's not much you can do. But regardless, there are ways to build this towards the new format. Obviously, that Earthen Vessel, you can replace this Energy Search for an Earthen Vessel, no doubt about it. Those are really good, and probably one of the best cards to come out of Paradox Rift. So yeah, let me know down in the comments what you think about this deck and how you would upgrade it for Paradox Rift. Anyways guys, as always, stay safe and thanks for watching.